1 year ago, Wiyoh Falls didn't exist. No buildings. No trees. No people. Just an idea. Over the past year, that idea slowly turned into a place. A quiet little North American town filled with familiar faces, forgotten corners, and stories waiting to be told. This is the story of Wiyoh Falls, how it came to life over the course of a year, and how it's only just getting started. Creativity has always been one of the driving forces in my life. When I was younger, I spent countless hours drawing, and later on, music became another way for me to express myself. But I was always fascinated by another medium: video games. I loved the worlds they created, the atmosphere they built, and the sense that these places had a life of their own. In 2016, I joined Ubisoft Montreal as a game tester on Far Cry 5. Over time, I became more and more interested in the art side of game development, and I started learning the foundations of 3D using 3ds Max. Eventually, one day, out of pure curiosity, I opened Blender on my computer at home and started experimenting. I quickly realized that 3D was another way for me to create, through places, characters, and worlds. In 2020, I made the transition into 3D modeling professionally, working on titles like Assassin's Creed Valhalla and For Honor, a project I'm still working on today. But even while working on these incredible worlds, I always had the desire to create something that was entirely my own. A place I could escape to after work. Somewhere quiet, familiar, almost nostalgic. Growing up, I spent countless hours exploring worlds like Alone in the Dark, Little Big Adventure, Resident Evil, Silent Hill, and Splinter Cell. They weren't just games to me. They felt like actual places. I wasn't interested in recreating those games. I wanted to recreate the feeling they left behind. May 18, 2025. This was the day I created the Polygon Vault YouTube channel. And what you're seeing on screen right now is footage from my very first video. A terrible, uncut time-lapse of me making a tree. Back then, everything felt new. I had never used OBS to record my screen, and I had no idea how to edit videos in DaVinci Resolve. Just like so many other things I've learned throughout my life, I taught myself along the way. Every recording, every edit, every thumbnail, every mistake was another opportunity to learn. Looking back, those first videos were far from perfect. But at the time, I didn't care. I was simply excited to finally share something I had created from start to finish. My first 4 videos were all about vegetation. Looking back, seeing all those props lined up together gives us some serious Frutiger Aereo vibes. But it was the right decision, even if it wasn't the most exciting thing to watch. People started showing up, and with each video, the audience kept growing. But that was only the beginning. After a month of focusing purely on natural assets, I decided to move on to creating man-made ones. Roads were the first step, and I think they were a pretty symbolic choice. After all, roads are what bring people to a town. They are the first connection between a place and the outside world. I remember feeling really proud of myself because making this little modular kit work properly in Unreal meant learning a few new things along the way. This is when I started realizing there was nothing I couldn't do to create this world. I was fully committed. Then came the utility poles. Another modular kit. One more building block for the world I had in mind. With those new assets, I was starting to gather all the pieces I needed to create believable countryside roads. I still had no idea where I was going exactly, but I just kept modeling, focusing on one thing at a time, without seeing the bigger picture. Somewhere along the way, while reading the comments, I started noticing a pattern. Even though my videos were never meant to be tutorials, many of you told me you'd learn something from them. And if not, they inspired many of you, which made it even more worth it. I've never felt like I knew enough to teach 3D. I still don't. But seeing people come to me for advice and wanting to learn from my process has always been incredibly meaningful. And just like that, without really noticing it, I started wondering what kind of place could emerge from all these pieces. Twin Peaks, Silent Hill, Raccoon City. Hey, even Wiyoh Falls. These are places that became characters in their own right. Feeling suddenly empowered by what I had already done in my small community, I started thinking, what if I attempted to create something like that? I would still focus on one prop at a time in each video, just like I had done before. But this time, with a much bigger goal in mind. It felt almost like playing The Sims again, the way I used to when I was younger, but with more control and freedom. Except instead of building a household, the scale would be an entire town. It all started with a simple car model. I imagined it driving through town, stopping at each new building I would model. Something cute and simple. I then added a sign, the one that would officially introduce Wiyoh Falls. I shared my idea with you, introduced the project through a video, and talked about the lore I had already created for the town. Wiyoh Falls would eventually reveal itself as a sacred place, bound by an ancient mystical force. Long before the town existed, the land belonged to indigenous people whose stories and traditions were deeply connected to it. As settlers arrived and expanded across the region, that community was displaced, their presence pushed to the margins, while traces of their history remained woven into the valley. And with that in mind, I decided to move on to modeling the town's first official building, a gas station and bait shop all in one. I remember spending the following weeks creating a lot of props, one after another. This was the prop that unexpectedly gave the channel its first big push. This simple, shady white van would eventually reach 6.4 thousand views, and for the first time, I started seeing subscribers arrive by the hundreds. I was slowly starting to get more comfortable with my craft, getting used to creating and releasing videos regularly. I was learning the rhythm of this whole YouTube thing and starting to feel more confident with every step. I had always believed that the equipment wasn't what mattered most. But as the channel grew, I started investing in better tools. New microphones, better audio, and little by little, the quality of my videos kept improving. By that point, I had gathered most of the assets I needed to create a credible environment. Roads, trees, utility poles, signs, buildings. It finally felt like I had a solid foundation to build on. But something important was still missing. Life. And that insight would lead to the next big step, creating the first residence of Wiyoh Falls. It's funny how quiet it gets sometimes. Hank loves these last hours of the day, when the last customer drives off and the world slows down. He sits on the porch of the Angler's Hook, one hand in his pocket, the other holding a beer from his own fridge. The kind of beer that never makes it to the register. But one night... a familiar figure appeared on the lot. An old friend who had been gone for a long time. And that was the moment the Polygon Vault became my animation school. Learning that skill opened an entirely new door. For the first time, my characters were no longer just models standing in a scene. They could move. They could express emotions. They could interact with the world around them. I could finally start telling the stories I had imagined, just like the games I grew up playing. Every animation became a new challenge. Learning the fundamentals, studying every gesture, recreating movements from my reference videos, and understanding the timing behind every motion. It was a completely new world to explore. But slowly, with every attempt, the characters started to feel more alive. And that changed everything. Hank and Edna started to develop a connection that I never could have created before. A simple interaction between two characters could now tell a story without needing a single word. And that's when the project started becoming something much more personal. The Polygon Vault was no longer just a place where I was learning new skills and sharing my creations. It became a way to share emotions, memories, and little moments that I wanted people to experience. I still remember the first time I uploaded the video you're seeing on screen right now. Seeing this little story that had existed only in my head finally being watched by other people was a feeling I'll never forget. Watching the comments come in, seeing people connect with these characters in this little town I had been building alone, it was incredibly rewarding. For the first time, Wiyoh Falls didn't feel like a project that only existed on my computer. It felt alive. Hank has never been a fan of taking out the trash late at night. But sometimes, there's just no avoiding it.
No good.
Oh well. Now what do we have here? A dog! And a very cute one at that. Introducing Colbert to Wiyoh Falls was another important milestone for the project. At first, he was just another character I wanted to create. But as soon as he became part of Hank's story, he brought something completely different to the world. And what surprised me the most was seeing how quickly people connected with him. Colbert became an instant fan favorite. I think it was a nice reminder that the smallest things can sometimes have the biggest impact. Hey, it's true. At this point, I was on a roll. People were asking me left, right, and center for advice and tips, so I decided to create a full video showing my workflow while modeling a vending machine. It was great to finally have a conversation rather than a monologue. Comments started flowing in, with people sharing tips and suggesting ways I could improve my own workflow. It felt great to dive a little deeper into how I work and share the process behind my creations. Speaking of the comments I've been receiving, there's one question that keeps coming up. A lot of people ask me if I'm planning to turn Wiyoh Falls into a game someday. And the answer is, it's something I've definitely thought about. But the reality is, creating a game requires many different skills, and programming is something I haven't learned yet. For now, what I have in mind is something a little different. A roughly 90-minute film set in the world of Wiyoh Falls. A story that has been slowly taking shape in my head, with characters, mysteries, and moments I would love to bring to life. Who knows what the future holds, but for now, I'm excited to keep building this world and see where it takes me. At that stage of the project, I still had one major location to revisit. The Briggs Motel. You see, I had already built the old motel that Edna was supposed to run, but I almost never used it when filming my scenes because I simply didn't like it. Something about it felt unfinished. So I made an entire video focused on renovating the place, and I'm really glad I did. I had always wanted a motel in Wiyoh Falls. Not a fancy one. I wanted something a little worn down, a little forgotten. The kind of place you would find on the side of a quiet road where every room feels like it has a story behind it. Because motels are such interesting places for storytelling. Maybe someone is hiding from their past. Maybe someone is running from something. Maybe a detective arrives in town following a lead that brought them all the way to Wiyoh Falls. That, ladies and gents, is exactly what makes a motel such an interesting place. And that's exactly why I wanted Edna to run one. Once again, this meant another marathon of asset creation. I was constantly building new props, refining details, and expanding the world piece by piece. But at the same time, my videos were becoming more ambitious. They were taking more time to produce, but they were also reaching more people than ever before. And then, one video in particular would completely change the direction of the channel. Behind the scenes, there was another project I had been keeping secret, waiting for the right moment to finally reveal it. Around that time, I took possession of my van, which had been converted by Van Life Campers, a company based in Montreal. It really felt like the beginning of a new adventure. But the idea was never just to travel. I wanted to create a space where I could keep working on Wiyoh Falls, continue modeling, and even enjoy some gaming on the road. A small mobile studio where I could bring my creative process anywhere with me. Basically, a dream becoming reality. I also bought an Osmo Action 5 with a simple goal in mind, to start filming that journey. Over time, it gave me the opportunity to start sharing small slices of my life between the modeling sessions. And that slowly started to change the relationship between me and the people following the project. Looking back, those small glimpses made the channel feel much more personal, and they helped people get to know me in a way that a voice alone never could. I'd say getting this van was one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. But what's next? I hear you ask. Well, we're now working on building the main street of Wiyoh Falls, or as it's known in town, Heritage Avenue. There's only one building standing there, a little bookstore, but it won't stay that way for long. We plan to fill the street with all kinds of little shops, each with its own story to tell. We've also added Ned to our cast of characters, the bookstore owner and Wiyoh Falls' 4th resident. I think my 3D art skills are much better than they were a year ago, and I'm really proud of how he turned out. Ned will bring a younger energy to my stories, and I'm planning to add many more characters like him. There's still so much left to build, and that's the most exciting part of all. Wiyoh Falls is only beginning to become the place I've always imagined. Okay, I've been yapping for over 20 minutes, so I'll say goodbye. But the point I want to make today is that this entire video is a love letter to you, my community. Every person who took a few minutes to watch my content has helped shape the Polygon Vault into what it is today. What started as a small personal project slowly became something much bigger because people chose to believe in it. And to those who have just discovered the channel, this is your invitation to step into Wiyoh Falls. I also want to thank my Patreon supporters. To my 5 patrons, your support means far more than you think. It reminds me that this dream is shared by real people, and that gives me the motivation to keep creating even on the difficult days. This project has genuinely changed my life, and I am deeply grateful for every single person who has been part of that change. Thank you for believing in this little town. Thank you for believing in me. And thank you for being part of this story.